أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب إله رب العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين ولعنة الدائم على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. And I welcome my dear viewers, lovers of Ahlul Bayt alayhimu salam, to our program. It's a live program. We will be opening the lines after the break. Perhaps you could give us a call to ask any questions if you have. The topic that we'll be discussing tonight, and it's a continuation of the topic that we have spoken last week, is the reflection of Iman, faith, in the plains of Karbala. Because as we said earlier last week, that Karbala was a land in which a very fascinating phenomena was manifested or reflected, which never was before and would in the after, in the future, because the Imam himself have mentioned that La yawmuka yawmuka Aba Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam. There will be no day like the day of Abu Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam. So what was it really that we tend to see that Karbala became that place in which that sort of Iman of Abu Abdullah al-Husayn, and not only of the Imam but the Ashab of Imam Husayn alayhi salam, was reflected? And where does this really, what's the source of it? Where does this really come from? Why they had such a strong Iman? And because of this such a strong belief and faith that they had, it made it possible to really welcome the arrows to their chest, right? It really made them possible for the ladies, for the women and children, to really allow their loved ones to go and to be slain, to be killed in the plain of Karbala. What was it that really made them that strong, right? As we mentioned in some of the other programs earlier, that when they saw Imam Hussain alayhi salam fighting on the day of Ashura, they said that we have seen Hussein fighting, but we have never seen Hussein fighting in such a fashion. And in such a fashion what? In such a way what? A man of that age, a man who have lifted so many dead bodies, a man who have lost their loved ones, a man who have been surrounded by the enemies, a man whose the fate of women and children is unknown, what is going to happen next, a man who have not been given water for 3 days, a man who have not been provided with food for 3 days, but he is fighting in such a fashion. What is it that made Imam Hussain alayhi salam to reach this maximum capacity, human capacity, that a human could have in regards to his faith? What type of faith is it? What type of faith is that when Wahab, who was just a few hours hasn't passed that he has become a Muslim, but the mother of Wahab throws the severed head of Wahab when Wahab comes first, and the mother says that, "Oh mother," Wahab says to the mother, "Oh mother, are you happy with me now? Look, I'm in blood." Other says, "No, you go back and you give your life for the grandson of the Prophet." When they slain Wahab and they throw the head of Wahab towards the mother throws it back. What is given in the way of God, it's not taken back. What Iman? What faith? What sort of faith? What made them so powerful in their faith? What is it? So when we look at it, we find that it could be beautifully reflected in the last sermon of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Just after the Maghrib prayer, Imam Hussain delivers a sermon. As we know that the journalists have reported that they wanted to have a battle on the 9th and finish the battle on the 9th, but Imam Hussain alayhi salam asked for a day in which he would be given where he could worship where he could do astaghfar, where he could do du'as, where he could, recite Quran, where he could do zikr. He asked for a day, right? And then on the night of 9th, after the Maghrib prayer, he delivers a sermon. Now, this sermon is the reflection of that faith. What type of faith? What strong faith they have? What strong of iman they have? Where is this based on? That we could find this in this khutbah of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. This khutbah is a very famous sermon of Imam Hussain, delivered on the eve of Ashura to his ashab in his tent, where they have prayed the congregation prayer, where they have gathered, and this is where that bayat was taken by the ashab. Imam Hussain puts the light off, and then he says that everyone is free to go. It is after this sermon. He gave this sermon, and then after that he says that I have lifted my bayah, and I have guaranteed you the Jannah and the Shafa'at of Rasulullah, my grandfather. I will not question you, God will not question you, you are free to go. But the iman, the faith of theirs did not allow them. What sort of faith was that? Imam Hussain says, Uthniya ala Allah ahsan thana. Imam Hussain is saying that thana, praise, is to God, to Allah. And what type of praise? Ahsan thana, a beautiful praise. Thana, there's two things. One, we get into trouble when we are translating, from Arabic to English. Perhaps Farsi and Urdu have some sort of texture, some substance, some remnants of Arabic in it, and that's why it's quite important for my dear brothers and sisters that they invest in educating their children in Urdu, if they have an Urdu background, or educating their children in Persian, in Farsi, if they have a Persian background, or even to really learn these languages, particularly Persian if they could, because Arabic is a very difficult language. You would find the color of Arabic in Urdu and Farsi. So that remnants, that heaviness, that weight of Arabic is still there, in Farsi and Urdu. It says, Uthniya ala Allahi ahsan thana. See, thana is something else and hamd is something else. We say Alhamdulillah, right? And we say, thana lillah, right? Thana have a different value, and hamd is different. Shukr, for example, is something. Shukr, for instance, in English we would translate shukr as thanks, or even sometimes hamd. When we say Alhamdulillah, we will translate that, oh, he said thanks God. Thanks God, he's happy. Alhamdulillah, it's okay. Alhamdulillah, he's praising God. So here, Uthniya ala Allahi ahsan thana. He's saying the best of thana for Allah. When is he saying this? We got to look at that as well. He's not saying Uthniya ala Allah, but he's saying in his sermon, Uthniya ala Allah. He's saying Uthniya ala Allah ahsan thana. He's saying that the best of thana, he's giving to his Lord, the best of praises at a given time, where tomorrow is his last day. At a given time, he's surrounded by the enemies. At a given time, he has very less of supporters and followers. At a given time where there is a ration or the water and food supply is stopped. At a given time, he is a foreigner. He's not in Medina, he's been out of his hometown. But what is he saying? Uthni ala Allahi ahsan thana. What it takes for a person to praise Allah in the best way possible on such an occasion. But Imam Hussain is praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this fashion. Thana, let me give you a little bit about what really thana means. Thana is where a person is aware of the positive and the negative aspect of a reality that has unfolded to him, but he is looking at the positive angle of it. He's saying that, whatever is good or whatever comes from Allah, that is good. That is where a thana comes about. It's 100%. It's a pure praise. He's saying that's amazing, it's fascinating, it's beautiful. Although it is painful. Like we said earlier, Amirul Mu'mineen, when he was injured by the sword of Ibn Muljim, and he was in extreme pain, and blood, his beard turned red with his blood, his face, his body turned pale because of the poison of that blood. But he says that, what does he say? He says that, it was like a person in the desert. He was looking for a well. He was looking for a spring of water. And when he was thirsty, in order to quench his thirst, he was in the desert and he was lost and he is looking for water. And all of a sudden, a spring of water, a well of water, he finds. That's how Ali feels. That's how Ali feels. That sword, that pain, that blood, that poison, that departing pain from the children, from this world. But look how Ali have compared it. He's thanking God. This is praising. It is difficult, but at the same time, he says, what a beautiful my Lord is. How grateful I am to Him. He is so great. That's what he's saying. So he says, Uthni Allahi ahsan as-sana. He's saying the best of a praise. Not just, if he would have said Uthni Allah, that should have been enough. But he's adding. He's saying ahsan as-sana. And then first is sana. First a person, he's doing sana. And wa ahmaduhu. And he's saying Alhamdulillah. He's saying, Alhamdulillah, all praises to Lord. Thana is a higher. Thana is on a higher level. Thana is on a higher level. It is more on a metaphysical level, on a spiritual level. When a person looks at the hidden secrets of the world, he is able to do thana. Amirul Mu'mineen is looking at the hidden secret of the pain. That's why he is doing thana. Amirul Mu'mineen is looking at the hidden secret of the plans. Araftu Allah, I have recognized God. I learned about my Lord. My increase, my marifat increase of my Lord. When my azaim, when my plans were broken down. So when my plans were broken down, at that time I recognized Lord more. So Amirul Mu'mineen is looking at the spiritual or metaphysical reality of the breaking of the plans. Then he's saying, I recognize God. You see? Now this I recognize God is very important. Who is saying, I recognize God? It is Amirul Mu'mineen. Who is Amirul Mu'mineen? Who is the planner? Who have planned this? It is Ali ibn Abi Talib who have planned this. What plan? Can it be possible that a plan of Ali be without God? That a plan of Ali, the maqsad and the purpose of the plan of Ali is nothing but pleasure of God. Amr ibn Abdawad, greatest example, spits on the face, leaves Amirul Mu'min, leaves him, come back and kill. So the plan of Ali is lillah, is purely and purely divine, and it is for God. There is nothing of his in there. That is Ali. Because Ali says, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, Amirul Mu'mineen, says that You know, it's very difficult sometimes to, take this name, like we say Ali, we say Hussein, to show the love. Hazrat, even Ali, taking the name of Ali, alayhi salam, it requires a lot. I have noticed this, that Imam Khomeini, he would always refer, or the scholars, let's say, who are knowledgeable, they would always use the titles instead of names. They will say Amirul Mu'mineen. They will say Siddiqa Kubra, Siddiqa Sughra, instead of taking the names. Because taking the names from mouth like this, from people like us, it is something, So we have to do ihtiyat. One should really be very careful in terms of what names, what names we should really choose, what sort of titles, we should really use the titles. Amirul Mu'mineen, Imam Khomeini always refer to Hazrat Ali alayhi salam as Amirul Mu'mineen. He would always say Amirul Mu'mineen in his speeches. You might even read the speeches, or you can even listen to some of his speeches. He would always refer to as Amirul Mu'mineen. Anyways, now going back onto who is planning. The plan is the plan of Ali. Ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam is Amirul Mu'mineen planning. Amirul Mu'mineen have said that Ma ra'aytu shay'an, I haven't seen a thing, qablahu Allah, ma'ahu Allah, ba'dahu Allah. Before everything I saw Allah, after everything I saw Allah, with everything I saw Allah. I have seen nothing and nothing but Allah. So these are the plans of Amirul Mu'mineen. And Amirul Mu'mineen is saying that I have recognized my Lord when my plans were broken. So this is looking at the spiritual aspect, the metaphysical reality of even the negative that a person faces means thana, means that praise. That is why Imam Hussein alayhi salam here, first he says, Uthniya alallahi ahsana thana. And after that, he says, Wa ahmadahu. And he says, Hamd. So, awwal thana on that metaphysical level. Then when it comes to the worldly plane, when it comes to the dunya, then it becomes hamd. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. That hamd. Then hamd comes. So thana is first, then hamd. When we look at the worldly plane, then it is hamd. Oh Allah, Alhamdulillah, you have given me this. Alhamdulillah, you have given me that. Alhamdulillah, I'm healthy. Alhamdulillah, I'm going through. And that is why it has always been recommended that one should say Alhamdulillah all the time. One is in pain, one is in difficulty, Alhamdulillah. It should be always hamd. When somebody asks us, how are you? Say Alhamdulillah. There is no need of expressing the sorrows, the trials and tributes that one is going through. Yes, one could express that. One says, Alhamdulillah, I'm fine, in this state that I am in right now, which, for example, this is this. Alhamdulillah. That hamd needs to be there, and that's what Imam Hussein is saying here. Uthni ala Allahi ahsana thana wa ahmadahu ala sarra'i wa dharra'i. I thank my Lord, I praise my Lord, ahmadahu ala sarra'i, at a time of relief and joy. Alhamdulillah, in that state as well. And then ala wa dharra'i, even in the turmoils, even in the trials, even when I'm suffering, Alhamdulillah, in both. At the time of joy, Alhamdulillah, I praise to my Lord, ahmadahu ala sarra'i, and praise to my Lord as well when I am in trials and tributes, when I'm in difficulty, right? So in both ways, Imam Hussein alayhi salam is thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It takes a lot from a man to really deliver such a sermon in such circumstances on the eve of Ashura. that thana where he is given is pointing out to that Tawheedi vision. That same vision like his father, that I saw before everything God, with everything God, after everything God. So I see nothing but God. So when a person sees nothing but God, he is in the thana of Allah. He is praising the Lord all the time, 24/7, every minute and every second of his. There is nothing but God for him. That is Tawheed. That is Tawheed. Tawheed, that, we will define these terms later on. I'm just going to mention this. This type of thana requires a vision of Tawheed Zati, the Tawheed of essence, the unity of essence, the oneness of essence. This type of Tawheed requires the Tawheed Af'al. This type of Tawheed requires the Tawheed Asma, the Tawheed of attributes. So a person must have this in-depth understanding of God to really deliver such a sermon. And at the same time, the companions must have that much in-depth understanding to give sacrifice the way they have sacrificed. We'll be right back after this short break.